Welcome back to the program. This is Good Morning Kenya. Women in Leadership is what we are focusing on this Tuesday morning. And I'm still joined by Grita Muthoni. She is a presidential aspirant. And Rose Mulwa has just joined us, the National Party Leader for Empowerment Liberation Party. Rose, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Traffic caught up with you, but you are here.
Me, at last, thank you.
At last you're here.
Yes, I'm grateful.
All right.
I'm very sorry.
All right, that's good. I'll come to you later, but let's just pick up on what you left on before we went to break. And you were saying that women cannot lie to people. Women cannot lie to us.
I say
this is why it's our time.
Yeah.
You say that it's women's time to lead.
Yeah. Women cannot manipulate as men can.
Actually, that's the word you used.
Yeah, that's the word I used.
Yes.
The reason being, remember, there is attachment of a woman and the child. The child becomes the man and the woman are the head. So you see, there is that attachment for a woman. Despite whatever they want to do, they think again. And I think the power of a woman lies in the mind. So, because you see, the balancing that is done by women, it is incredible because a woman multitasks. A woman can lay back and watch. Why? Because the ego of a woman is not as much as of a man. So that gives us the space to make the right decisions and also to have very, very deep discussions. Let's say if it's a government, you can agree on each other. Okay. Why? Because there's no ego. It's not ego-based. And I think the goals of a woman, they're different from men. Because a woman thinks about humanity. A woman thinks about the future. A woman thinks about the production of what is happening. That's why they say that, when you educate a woman, you educate the nation. When you educate a man, you educate a person. Because a woman has so many compartments that always she can pick from and be able to jungle all those things, going to the right thing. Sometimes people think that emotions of a woman is a crime. It is not. It's because they're real. They're real. Just as you can say you have tears to cry. Is it not real? You have mouth to laugh. Is it not real? So the natural way of the creation itself, it is exercised by a woman. And that's why I feel, even understanding things, a woman is in another level. She's an intellectual. It's only they do not understand. And I cannot fail to quote this one when they say, biblically even, a woman is a helper. And I keep on asking, if a woman is a helper, when you're helping someone, who is weaker? The one being helped or the one that's helping you?
Looks like a concerted effort for me, but I want us to take a look at you launching your presidential bid, which happened about 78 days ago. And let's try and look at some of those issues that you were addressing even as you launched that bid. Take a look.
Here. Good afternoon. I come to you this day, the 20th of March, 2022, humbly representing and tendering my aspiration to be the 5th President of the Great Republic of Kenya. I am Grita Muthoni, a Kenyan by birth. I am a patriotic Kenyan and a mother. Mothers nurture, love all children equally, and this is what Kenyans need now. I have accepted the call to be a leader who is ready to transform our country in a way that will benefit the lives of every man, woman, youth, and a child. My call into the leadership position is people-driven, from millions of Kenyans who are seeking an alternative and authentic leadership. Kenyans are exhausted, tired, and suffering, and depressed. With the current option of leadership available,
You launched that bid on the 20th of March, which is actually about just a week ago, as the first female aspirant, as you're talking about earlier. And there's still quite a lot that you are addressing. Again, just gearing towards it is the time for women to lead.
Yes. Yeah, you know, authentic leadership.
Yeah, and that's what you really talked about mostly.
You know, when you look at a country, if you do not have the foundation of reality of things and genuinity and being authentic, the foundation becomes very loose. If every person that we see are patriotic about the nation that you're in, they will not be as disturbed as they are today. Because it is your country. You do anything to make sure it is not about you. That's why I talk about authentic. Because are many people authentic? Is it about them or is it about the country? It's about the people of Kenya.
All right.
In many times, it's about them. I need that seat so that I can do 1, 2, 3. I need that seat for reasons. In leadership, you don't have reason for yourself, but reason for other people.
All right.
And the people you're leading.
All right, I hear you. Let me bring in the party leader, ALP, and you are largely agreeing with what Honorable Grita is saying here, particularly when it comes to that it is the time of women. You are vying for the position of governor in Machakos County. And I just want us to look at the women who've already gone before, since that's what you try to talk about, women in leadership. If at all you get this seat, you obviously be in addition to the women that have bagged this gubernatorial seat through elective position, the likes of Joyce Laboso, may God rest her soul, the likes of Anne Waiguru Kirinyaga, as well as Kitui's Charity Ngilu. Do you look at some of these women that have gone ahead in terms of them setting pace and setting stage, and in what way have they done this?
Thank you so much. First, I want to acknowledge the students who have just got their results, KCPE. And I want to congratulate them, those who did well. And I just want to tell the others who did not perform so well, it's not the end of everything. But coming to think about it and commenting, and when we look at the diaries, the newspapers this morning, we are seeing the equality of women and men. We are seeing the top students
being shown in the results?
In the results, they are 50-50. And I know they did the same exam. And that's why we are not saying it's a breaking news that girls are also among the top ones. So as a party leader of Empowerment Liberation Party, I don't understand why when a woman comes out like Madam President, it's a breaking news. I don't see it being a breaking news when we come to academics. And the reason is, when these children went to school, they did the same exam, took the same time, paid the same school fees. So as a party leader of Empowerment Liberation Party, I did not have a woman in mind when this party was being formed. What I had in mind was to give a platform for anybody who wants to vie and enter elective politics, to have a platform where they will not be messed at one stage or other, the way our Madam President was messed. I did not have her in mind. I did not have a woman in mind. I just wanted to say, in Kenya, times have changed, and being a multi-party state, we have to be different. And that's why Empowerment Liberation Party is a place. It's not about money. And as you asked, I respect the women who went ahead of us. And I still feel they did their best, because the environment is not very conducive for a woman. And as I said, when a woman enters the political field, it becomes a breaking news. I think I call it, this nonsense must stop, because we are equal Kenyans. We have got the knowledge, we have the ability, and we can lead. Women, as Madam President has said, we can multitask. You find a woman, she's employed, she's working, she's a mother, she's cooking, she's organizing school fees, she's organizing homework for the children, and she's doing so much things. So I'm telling the people of Kenya not now to see women as just a woman, another figure which is coming, a weak figure. They should see women as part of this nation. And I'm asking our lady, women, we stand together because we are more than 50% when the census are done. And that way, I don't see why women will have to go for nominations. And when we get a nominated seat, we feel that we have been done as such a big favor. We should not go for that. We should come out and stop being even enemies of one another. Because there is also an element, women, we don't support each other. They say, I'll pull her down, and you don't want to enter there. You pull me down, then pull me down and take it. Don't pull me down and then give her a man. One thing, we are not against men because we are all Kenyans. The only difference is sex, is a male and female. And we cannot blame God because he created us that way. But when it comes to the thinking, the mindset, there's no difference.
Okay.
There's no difference.
I hear you. And you're saying that women should not go for nominations. So obviously what you're meaning is that they should also go for elective positions.
Yes.
But we cannot downplay the politics of affirmative actions that have really put at least women on some pedestal or on some positions when it comes to matters politics.
You know what I believe is that, I'm giving example of the students who have just done exam.
Okay.
There's nobody who was stopped from being top. If any woman comes out, I'm asking just our counterpart, the men, not to be so much threatened and intimidating when it comes to the women in the field. That is insulting them, using that language. And I just also want to tell women, when they hear the dirty language, not to be afraid of those languages. When somebody is talking for that language, it also diminishes the character of that person, because anybody who has sound mind will not talk rubbish, will not insult another one, will not abuse another one. And that's why I've told every person who has come as an aspirant of Empowerment and Liberation Party, one thing, we don't antagonize the government of today and the government we form, because if we antagonize the government which is in office now, and we are going to form the next government, we are also going to be antagonized. So we live like human beings, not like animals. We don't even abuse other politicians and our competitors. The field is free for us and we don't need to fight. All we do is to sell our ideologies. And I'm telling women and even men and the youth, I'm also for the youth, because our youth and our professionals, they are sitting silent, watching from the peripheries, and they don't want to come and become partakers of this game. I'm asking them to come in numbers, because in my party, this party, Empowerment and Liberation Party, there's a group, we call them silent majority. And these are the silent sufferers. They are capable Kenyans, educated Kenyans, good character, but they are not talking. They are just watching and saying, I'm so annoyed what I've seen in the TV, what I've seen in the newspaper. But come out and join us now, because now we are offering them opportunity. Delay is not denial. She might have come out about 2 weeks ago, but I'm telling you, things can change. Within this time, between now and then, August 9th, things can change if Kenyans, they will listen to what we are telling them, and they will become the next government of Kenya. And I'm sure she's going to take it. Because there are people who have been waiting for alternative. She is the best alternative. And being a woman, she'll have a heart for everybody. She'll accommodate everybody. A mother always loves everybody, whether they are weak or strong, whether they are educated or not. A mother will always nurture every child. Yes.
All right, Honorable Grita,
Yes.
Madam Rose is saying that delay is not denial.
No, it is not.
It is the time. Come out to be heard, not just to be seen.
Yeah.
But some might argue that we're just hearing of you now. We've not seen you. We've not heard you. Who is Grita Muthoni? What does your background look like?
My background is a humble background. Born in Nyandarua, grew up as a normal child, but always so much attracted to how I can change people's life. And I'm a psychologist by profession. And I really concentrate on what is happening. I've been out there. Actually, I am the first person to give soap and water to the elderly during COVID-19. No one had started, I did. But you know what? I've been out there with also some other politicians, but you're never covered. You're not known. They cover the people they know. And you know, it's such a pity, because The most effective people are silent, just as they have said. Silent. The well-learned and sober-minded, they're out there. But you see, it's a pity that we cover the most unnecessary things in our country. It is also painful because what are our children learning out of it? You know?
And I just want us to tackle a bit about the debt crisis in this country. As of last year, it was captured at 8.2 trillion. Of course, that debt ceiling was risen from 6 trillion to 9.1 in 2019, and there's still conversation to rise it further to 13 trillion. And right now, we are expecting the budget to be read on April 7th. We obviously know, just like previous budgets, we'll have a deficit. What does that mean? Kenyans have to dig into their pocket to see how they can finance that a bit, and consequently to also see how they can dig into their pockets to repay that which we have borrowed. It's a pertinent issue.
Where does that come from? The leadership. You see, when you talk about the debts, the debts, you cannot be without a debt as a government. Oh yes, but then management of the debts. Because if there are projects and they were not done, it still become a debt that is paid and it didn't do nothing, you know. Also, there is something, actually that is one of my important point, mindset. If you do not change the mindset of people, nothing will ever work in this country. Talk about the debts, talk about health, talk about mindset. Our mindset is wrong because when you are in power, it's about the money. How would you entrust anyone when the mindset is wrong? If we had the good mindset, we will not be losing all that we are losing. Because if you're given responsibility to loan money and you give it to someone to manage it, if they had the right mindset, they would manage that money. But because the mindset is wrong, this is where the country is going down. You see, the debts, if you ask me, if I would look at it projectively, you know, in years to come, I would discuss about it, go back and see how was it acquired, what can be redone, how can we get maybe more grace period so that we are able to pay longer time in a small portion. And also create jobs for the youth. We need to create jobs. But again, even though we create jobs, what about the mindset of the people you are creating jobs to? Will they manage the resources that you give them? I think Kenya as a country, we lost the foundation. And the foundation is our mind. And I have tried to look at everything in every perspective. And everything adds up to our thinking. So if we can change the way we think, and the way we perceive things, we can be able to handle this nation. Because think, are we talking about the human resources? We have more than enough youth to work if we create jobs for them. You see what I mean? We are taking our children out there. Why? Our brain is out there instead of it being here to work and create jobs. But again, as you say, they're nowhere to be seen because who will see them? That is the problem we have in Kenya and Africa at large. So it is about time to go to the drawing table and ask ourselves, what is wrong with our country and us? Because anything else can be done if we have the right mindset. You know, jobs can be created, yes, but who will run them? We can even have more hospitals, but who will be genuine enough not to steal the medicine from the hospital? We can have the factories. Who will be good enough to manage the factories? Mindset. So for me, if you ask me, the mindset is important. And I think in my government, I will concentrate with the youth because we must have the change of the mindset. And that way, whatever we do, we run. Because if you think about it today, what is happening? You don't need to be told. Watch the TV. You will create a story out of what you see. Yeah? You think, people think that things are going wrong because maybe we don't have the people to do those things. They're there. The minds are there. But where is our brain? In America, in Europe, in England, in Britain. That is where our brain is. And if we bring the brain back, if we take the brain that is here and put it together, we will come with something. And I'm going to say one more thing. Remember, during the colonial, it came a time when our forefathers had enough and made a decision to go to the forest to fight for this nation. The time must come for people to be that tired and want change.
All right.
Yeah.
I hear you. Honorable Rose, Grita is talking about management when it comes to debt crisis. It's a very pertinent issue. Looks like we'll continue having this conversation year on end. And the challenge is not in the borrowing, because I mean even developed countries do that for development anyway. The question is about management. So where is the missing link?
I think just to add on what Madam President has said, is that the high debt is costing, the effect is high cost of living.
Yes.
Every Kenyan, even the lowest in the village, they are feeling it. It has cost even the essential commodities to be unaffordable for the Kenyans at large. I think I recommend and I acknowledge and appreciate the former President Mwai Kibaki. He left us at a very high and comfortable level economically. One thing I want to comment is that Kenya, we don't lack resources, we don't lack money. It's social, we have socially, social structures are there. Economically, we are okay. The only thing we need is management. And I'm saying this with all due respect. There is no way we can have people loaning us money if we don't have ability to pay. And that's why you see the foreign countries, they will come, they will do work for us. We have not paid them, we have not cleared them. It's big amount of money, but they still give us more because they know we have ability to pay. I can assure you, nobody will lend you money when you are owing the money if you have no ability to pay. When does that take us? Kenya, we have all it takes. All we are lacking are leaders and administrators. And I believe with Madam President in office, we are going to have structures. She will have structures where we will have, and I said they are learned people, capable people, and they are not politicians. The resources of Kenya are not supposed to be managed by politicians. You know, politicians, their work is to keep promises. Because they have spent so much money to campaign, to buy the electorates, they want to end our office and recover.
Isn't that what Madam Grita is telling us? As she's saying that she's largely going to focus on the youth, isn't that what we've had over time?
The youth.
When you talk about promises, isn't that what she's saying?
No. I think I don't know what she's referring to that. It is when you keep on telling people, I'll do this for you, but I heard her say she will not give money. She's not buying them. You know, if I buy you when you are given 1,000, I heard her say, if you are given 1,000, will it carry you through for the 5 years? So I understand she's not giving money. If the politician will give money, but when he enters office, he has to recover that money with interest and even accumulate more with that experience for the next elections to safeguard his interest. But I'm talking of leaders entering politics. When a leader enters politics, these are managers, these are administrators. And the beauty of leaders entering politics, not with the mind of a politician, is a person who is going to safeguard these resources.
Okay.
They will put structures so that we get now those silent Kenyans, those educated Kenyans, capable Kenyans, who we are asking them to join us to run offices like Central Bank. We know we have got people in Central Bank who are working very well, other parastatals, other institutions which are not run by politicians, and that is an area where we have gone wrong. If you put a politician because he lacked a position or he did not succeed when they went for elective position, you tell them, I will reward you, you go and work in central government. That person will not perform. So what I'm trying to say is that Kenya, we can reduce the cost of living because Kenyans are crying, they are suffering. Kenya is bleeding because everybody is crying about the economy, and I understand even the unborn children, they have got a debt to pay. They are not born children. But let me tell you, when we end up under the government, the administration of Madam President, we are not, I said we are not vindictive. I'm telling you, we will not go back to West Energy to find out where did this money go, who took what, who did not take what. What we need to do is to put a full stop, knowing that the resources are there, money is there, and what we need is to have mechanism to safeguard what now we are going to manage. And within 2 years, 3 years, this debt will go down almost to the zero, and they will redeem the unborn children, including the ones who are alive, and they don't know what to do. So I want to say there is a generation below 50 which has been forgotten in Kenya. They are suffering, and these are the people who want to tell them, join us so that we can work together and redeem. Kenya needs redemption.
So you're saying that it's not a time for promises. We need to act.
No.
All right, you're so big on employment, even part of what ELP's mandate is. And looking on the the recently concluded census, it shows that 5.7 million Kenyan, actually 5.7 million Kenyan youths are jobless out of the 13.7 in existence. And that is part of what creates that gap between the rich and the poor. And going by that aspect of time to reduce on promises, to act on it, I think I'd want you to be more practical on that issue. Why I ask that is because in every electioneering period, the question of unemployment on every politician's mind vying for any position, it never misses. I mean, we've just had the Kenya Kwanza team saying that 100 billion will go to SMEs. We've had the other team saying that 6,000 will go to the vulnerable persons, and of course youth form that bit of vulnerable persons. So let's be a bit more practical on this unemployment issue in this country.
Thank you so much. I think what I want to commend is this, and being a person in the business sector.
Yes.
Kenya, we have got enough for all those who want to be given resources, to be avowed resources to start businesses like these SMEs. Because after going around, particularly in Machakos, I went around and I went meet the people tour, and it was so bad to see that irrespective of Machakos County receiving over 100 billion within the last 10 years, there is no development. I go for meetings to meet the people at 10, at 2 p.m. The youth are there in my meetings, and then it hit me, what you are saying is right. There are no jobs, they are not employed. Now, one thing I want to say, if you take 1 billion, even if the person who was in charge took just 1 billion per year out of the 10 he got, and said, this money I'm going to assist those who want to start small businesses, and then you have a structure to monitor them, to see that they are not taking the money to drinking and other things. I'm telling you, 1 billion can do a lot per year for a county. Another year, another billion. Just take 1 billion. And those who want employment, you just start, instead of giving contracts to the people who are up there, because it is being given to those who are already having. The one in I think the Bible says the poor remain poor and the rich richer. If we just take instead of giving the contract to the people up there, and we take that contract to the ward level, and I tell the MCA, I want you to employ the youth to work on this contract. The only thing you can do, get a qualified person, engineer, to teach them how to work. Within a year, there will be employment in that same ward. So I want to, as a governor of Machakos, if people elect me there, and they are going to elect me because they have no choice. They need a woman. I'm going to do projects in the sub-counties, in the wards, not just at the level of the sub-county, but at the ward level. And I'll make sure that those MCAs, they don't spend time sitting in the boardrooms in the county offices. We will have meetings, and they all go to supervise the projects at the ward level. There is enough money. God is not a man that he lies, and is not a fool that he has put all these Kenyans, the millions of Kenyans in this country, and he has not given us the resources we need for each one of us. There is enough. It's only that money is in the hands of very few people up there. If it can be released and be distributed equally, everybody will have some money. There's a lot of it.
All right, I hear you. So it's more also of a question of empowerment, empowering.
That's why empowerment, and we have to liberate people.
Okay, okay.
I want to tell Kenyans the jobs they need, our youth, the jobs are not in Dubai. They are not in America. Their job is here. And that's why you see people in the Western world, developed countries, they are coming here to do business here. From West Africa, Nigeria, they are here because there is something here which our people are being denied. And I want to tell Kenyans, wake up, because sometimes we tend to respect now foreigners. We don't hate them, we live with them, but there are some jobs which can be done by our people here. If any job can be done by our Kenyans, we don't need to employ foreign to come and do it. And other countries have got also those rules and regulations. Anything, I went to South Africa, and at the airport, even Kenya Airways stand, it is a South African who is standing there attending. You know, that kind of thing. I think Kenyans, let us love one another. Let us think of this youth who are suffering. We don't blame them. They are killing each other. They are into drugs. It's because we are sending them to that.
I hear you.
It is painful and it's hurting.
I hear you. I hear you.
It is hurting.
We just have a minute to go, and I want to finish with you, Honorable Grita. And this is on that aspect of readiness, since also that was really what was forming our conversation this Tuesday morning. And in just under 1 minute, I want you to just tell us your perspective in terms of, is this country ready for a female president?
Absolutely, this country is ready for a woman president. And now, as you are asking that question,
very quickly, yes.
If you see, when you see the mess that is there, in my government, I will put tight systems. I will map the country. You see, when you talk about the youth, you talk like generally. But if I know this county have how many youths, how many are jobless, how do I get jobs for them? It can be done. As we said, lack of management and organization. Right now, because we cannot even trust ourselves because of the way of thinking, but with the technology that we have today, we can be able to man this country, even when you're in our rooms, through the systems. Because no one citizen should not be known. When you talk about people are dying, which people? The government should know who have died and why have they died. Who is hungry? Where are they? If you look at the January, when you talk about the corruption, you talk about the poverty, you talk about, but where are the people? Already, as a nation, we have not managed to kind of map the country very well. And I think in my government, I will be able to map the country so well that in every county, in every ward, I will need to know who is in that ward. And that means I will start now communicating with people, and particularly the chiefs, who are now the chief areas. I need to get the report. What is happening? I cannot manage to talk about the youth 75%, who I do not know, where they are, who learned what, where is the engineer. If I were the one, my engineers would do the road. We do the rail.
All right.
Until it is perfect.
I would have wanted to know the practicality of you knowing every person in a particular ward, but due to the constraint of time, we have to bring this conversation to an end. I have been speaking to Grita Muthoni. She is the female presidential candidate. In fact, the one who has declared her bid in this 2022 general elections. I have also been speaking to Rose Mulwa. She's the national party leader of Empowerment Liberation Party, as well as the gubernatorial aspirant in Machakos County. That's how we bring the conversation to a close. And good morning, Kenya. Till tomorrow, have a beautiful morning.